Hello, I'm Andy, and before I get really started on this video, here's a little language quiz for you. Here are some sentences. I want you to decide what goes in the gap. So the first sentence, I have been a teacher 1997. I have been a teacher 1997. The answer is, I have been a teacher since 1997. I have been a teacher since 1997. Okay, try this one. I have lived in my house 5 years. I have lived in my house 5 years. The answer is, I have lived in my house for 5 years. I have lived in my house for 5 years. Did you get those two? Here's a few more examples to test you. I had worked there ages. I had worked there ages. They had waited at the bus stop too long. They had waited at the bus stop too long. Another thing that's worth noting is that the for can actually be dropped in these kinds of sentences. So they had waited at the bus stop for too long can become they had waited at the bus stop too long. And I had worked there for ages can be I had worked there ages. Okay, back to some more examples. She had been bored. She came home. She had been bored. She came home. Did you get all of those? If yes, then you may not need my help with this particular topic, but if you didn't, or you'd still like a review, continue watching because there is much more to say on for and since, including lots more example sentences. But first, we need to look at the grammar where for and since appear. In this instance, that's the perfect tenses. And these are things that I know many second language learners get a little bit confused about. So, the perfect tenses. First of all, there are 6 of them. The present perfect, the past perfect, the present perfect continuous, the past perfect continuous, the future perfect, and the future perfect continuous. I'll quickly show you how to make all of these, but please remember, most of these tenses are not used a lot. In fact, out of the 6, we use the present perfect the most. So here's how we make them. Present perfect is made like this. Subject plus have or has, depending on whether the subject is in the first, second, or third person, plus main verb in its past participle form, plus the rest if needed. So examples, I have been, and we could finish this sentence with to Cairo, for example. I have been to Cairo. He has eaten, and you could end the sentence here or add more information such as dinner. He has eaten dinner. And we can also shorten the I have and he has when speaking to I've and his, etc. And the past perfect is subject plus had plus verb with the past participle form plus the rest if needed. Examples: I had been to the bathroom. He had eaten a whole pizza. The present perfect continuous is subject plus have or has plus been plus verb in the ing form plus the rest if needed. For example, I have been working all day. He has been living in Tokyo. The past perfect continuous is subject plus had plus been plus verb in the ing form plus the rest if needed. So, examples: I had been working since 6 a.m. She had been talking on the phone. And now on to future perfect simple. Here we have the subject and we make it a future tense with the modal auxiliary verb will. I do intend to talk about modals in a future video because I think it's a really useful part of the language to get to grips with. And we make this with subject plus will plus have plus verb with the past participle plus the rest if needed. Examples: I will have eaten dinner by then. She will have finished the project. And finally, the future perfect continuous. And this is subject plus will plus have plus been plus verb in the ing form plus the rest if needed. Whew. Examples: I will have been working here for 10 years. It will have been running for 5 years. And you can shorten that it will have been to it'll have been, but it's not necessary, so it will have been is probably clearer. So that's 6 of the 12 tenses we teach in most English courses. However, as I mentioned in one of the other videos on my channel, we don't use most of these tenses much, but we do use the present perfect quite a lot. So let's look at how we use these perfect tenses with for and since. If you remember, we already saw for in use in some of our previous examples. For example, I will have been here for 10 years. It will have been running for 5 hours. Now, what do you notice about the words after the for in both of these sentences? They're numbers. That's because we use for to state a period of time. For 2 days, for 3 weeks, for 25 years. So, examples: I've lived in this house for 35 years. I've been studying English for 2 years. He had worked on the project for 2 months. We even use it for less specific time periods, such as for a long time, for ages, for a while. For example, they've been dating for a while. To make the negative form, you just need to add not. So, have or has plus not plus verb with a past participle plus for plus time expression. For example, I haven't been to my hometown for 12 years. We haven't seen each other for ages. We can show this in a timeline like this. And this is why the question, how long have you, is answered with for. For example, Andy, how long have you been wearing glasses? Oh, I've been wearing them for 14 years. Or just for 14 years. Or simply 14 years. All of this also works for the past perfect when we talk about 2 connected times in the past. So the question, how long had you worked there, would be answered with I had worked there for 12 years. I had worked there for 12 years. Meaning, of course, I don't work there anymore. And we can do the same with future, although uses for this are minimal. But here the speaker is talking about two connected times again. However, the finishing time, B, is a future ending, but the starting time, A, may have already happened or could also be in the future. We would need much more context to tell us when A occurred. For example, I will have worked there for 12 years. Now maybe this is my present job and I am looking at some future event that will happen when I have been in my job 12 years. Or I haven't even started the job yet, but something will happen 12 years after I start. As I said, I don't think we use this one much. If you look at the perfect tenses with since, you will see we use a specific time. For example, I have worked here since 2021. I had been waiting since 6 a.m. Both 2021 and 6 a.m. are specific moments in time. Other examples include yesterday, this morning, last Sunday, my 21st birthday, the day I was born, midnight, and on and on. So here's that structure and some more examples. I've been living here since 2015. He's played tennis since he was 6. We've been waiting here since 1 o'clock. Oh, they've been friends since they were in high school. And here are the timelines for the perfect tenses with since. We can make a future perfect sentence with since, theoretically, but I don't think we use it so much. But anyway, if you want to know more about this topic, please put a comment below and I'll try to respond either in a reply or a future video, depending on how long the answer needs to be. So to summarize the difference, here are the timelines for and since. With the examples, we've been here for 3 days. We've been here since Monday. Okay, so I hope that was helpful and you learned something or reviewed something. And I do look forward to talking to you in the next video. So bye for now.